They're hitting your swim bait like crazy, but they just ain't eating it. How do you get those fish to commit? So like I said, we've all been there. We're throwing some sort of swim bait, whether it be, the bigger swim baits, or even the finesse swim baits, or even an underspin. They're getting hit. Now, for you guys that don't know, when you're throwing a swim bait, you want to make sure you throw it out there, and as you're reeling it back, sometimes you're going to get hits. You're going to feel thump. Do not set the hook until you feel the weight of the fish. Now, the problem with that is sometimes you're going to get multiple thunks, okay? So it's going to be thunk, 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 thunk. Somebody, we can probably put a beat to that. Anyway, and no matter how calm you are, no matter how under control you are, and trust me, it hurts. It hurts. I mean, there is nothing any more frustrating than that, when you're reeling it in and they're just knocking the absolute fire out of it and not eating it. Sometimes you can downsize, they'll eat it. Sometimes you can go to an underspin, big or small, they'll eat it. But I'm going to tell you one of the things that I've done that works almost 100% of the time. Now, you've seen me talk about this before when it comes to suspended fish, okay? So what you've got to think about is how far those fish, you've really got to pay attention in your cast. Where was the last hits of that bait? It's been a tough day of fishing, and they're hitting right here beside of me. Figures, huh? Anyway, so you've got to pay attention to where the last hit is. Those fish will follow that swim bait so far before finally they turn off and they don't want to have anything to do with it. Most of the time it'll be as it gets closer to the boat. I've seen them follow it all the way up and under the boat and actually got hit that way before. Now, the follow-up bait. So you've heard people talk about using a frog over a mat and throw a jig or some sort of, flipping rig in. The follow-up bait is simply this. Now, you do want to match it to the size of your bait. So if I'm throwing a 5 or 6 inch swim bait, I'm going to throw a 5-inch soft jerk bait. Now this hook, I'm not going to lie, I had this on a 4-inch. I think it's a 3/0 belly weight, so it's a little small. I would definitely go with at least a 4 as it's wrapped around my tip. Always hate it when it gets wrapped around the tip. Anyway, so I'd go with a 4. I just changed this over to show you. The big thing about this is how you fish it. This is going to be, and what I like, because generally when I'm fishing my, that's a big one. Generally when I'm fishing my swim baits, I'm fishing them pretty deep. So I like a belly weight. I'm not going to put it on just a weightless hook. I want it to sink. That's why this is probably my go-to. This is the Caffeine Shad by Strike King, which is very heavy in salt, and it sinks. So you put it on a belly weight and it sinks pretty good. So let's talk about what's happening when those fish are hitting that bait. What generally happens when bass come up and they hit a bait and they don't eat it, they're doing one or two things. They're looking to stun that fish, or they're just missing that fish, missing the hook in that case. So a lot of times what happens when those fish get hit real hard, it will stun them. Sometimes it'll even kill a shad. And so what happens is they'll start falling. So this is why it's a great bait. Basically, you throw this out. Now don't make as long as a cast as you did before. You're going to cast about half the distance of the original cast, because those bass are going to follow that in so far, they're going to stop, and they're slowly going to make their way back. And so what you want to do is you want to cast this out, you want to let it drop, count to about 3, 4, and then twitch it up a couple, 3 times. Let it fall and twitch it up. And it's that simple, guys. I mean, you will get slammed. If those fish are coming back or some of them are still there, this is a great follow-up bait to catch those bass. I'm not going to say it works 100% of the time, but it's really close. I mean, you can really throw out there if they're that aggressive, but for whatever reason they're not eating the swim bait you're throwing, throw this bad boy out. You want it to be close to the color that you're throwing, which is why I like that sort of, that's sort of their ghost shad, I think it is. You know, when I'm throwing it in this clear water, but that is a great follow-up for your swim baits if they're not totally committing to them. All right, guys, I told you this was going to be a quick and dirty video. I hope you like it. I hope you give this a try. I always keep it, when I'm fishing a swim bait, I always have this on deck. Somewhere it is on deck, ready to go, so that I can pick it up, throw it out, and hopefully catch those ornery bass that ain't wanting to eat my swim bait. Give it a try. Tell me what you think. As always, questions and comments in the comment section below. You guys know I love to talk about fishing with you. Hope you'll try the follow-up method. And as always, like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get the notifications when these videos come out, guys. I love all your support. It means the world to me. And as always, you guys rock.